And says the Spirit of the Lord this day, Australia, says the Lord, thunder, that's capitalized, a storm and upheaval in that nation as they attempt an electric fence around their people.
Oh.
There shall be a short circuit, says the Lord, and a window shall arise for Australia to turn the breach they have suffered. For many nations in this hour must turn the breach, that's capitalized. What the enemy is attempting to birth forth is horribly deformed and mutated, and such bondage must not be birthed into the nation. All capitals. My people should not be assisting to keep the breach intact, but must turn from their wicked ways and seek my face. My face, that's all capitalized. For many have turned their face toward the philosophies of the world. The rise of the philosophies, the same spirit that caused it in Greece, those carnal-minded philosophies that only speak what is seen, has entered the church. Socrates, says the Lord, Socrates. This name will have to do with a military operation as well.
Oh, that's interesting.
The
Wow.
Lord. The philosophies have entangled the world as an intrusive vine, and the supposed shepherds have allowed that vine to grow. They have watered it themselves for a mainstream that is about to dry up, says the Lord.
So that's the end of that. When you said all of this, you started with Australia. Is the whole word about Australia?
Well, it could be about some pastors in Australia as well, but I think the Lord too is speaking about the church as a whole. But yes, definitely churches in Australia are a part of this.
Okay, and when you said Socrates, that's interesting. Did you? This name will have to do with the military operation. Do you have a sense that it's a military operation somewhere? I mean, like here, there.
I have no clue. Meaning, like when I heard that I was like, Lord, this is out of left field for me. I know it's not for you, but this is like out of left field for me when I went back and read this and said, okay, so we'll see how this develops.
Yeah. A lot of people don't really grasp that a true prophet such as yourself, half the time, maybe more than that, have no idea how your words are going to come to pass.
No, we don't, because we in our carnal mind, we see things many times in tunnel vision or in one way. Whereas the Lord is getting a very high up bird's eye view of a block of time.
Yeah.
And so because of that, when he words something, he may mean it totally different than what we think.
Interesting. And the whole thing about Greece and Socrates, but back to the Socrates for a minute. Was it that a double meaning? Was he trying to say philosophy, Socrates? There is something that's supposed to be learned from that, and it's also a military operation.
Yes, I think it's both. He's warning about the rise of this spirit that caused this philosophical rise in Greece, that this spirit is now infiltrating the church.
Okay.
So he's warning about that, and it could have to do with Australia as well.
Okay.
That this is infiltrating. And when the Lord talked about electric fence too, which I find interesting, do I think there's a giant electric fence around Australia? No, not necessarily that we can see. But what he's saying is, what does electric fence do with a dog? There is a boundary, and if they cross it, they get shocked.
Yeah.
It's like that's what the government's trying to do to that people.
Yeah, they contain it, so they can't go beyond that boundary. It'd be interesting if they were even attempted to stop people from traveling. That would be an electric fence type of a thing. So interesting. All right. So number 4, the next one talks about power and authority to trample. That sounds good.
And says the Spirit of the Lord this day, and the whole paragraph is capitalized. The enemy is a cradle robber. He is a nest robber. The thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And in this hour, the enemy wants to rob you of your authority that comes from my throne, that comes through my Son, Jesus Christ. For the authority and power that has been given unto you can dismantle high places, strongholds, demonic assignments, arrows that are fired in the realm of the Spirit. I give unto you power and authority to trample upon serpents and scorpions and against all the power of the enemy, so nothing shall by any means hurt you.
Anything you want to share about that? Any other feeling senses?
Well, it's interesting because he starts with the enemy is a cradle robber, he is a nest robber, and then he goes into the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So he's saying the enemy is after your nest.
Yeah.
He's after your home. He's after your family. He's after what I've blessed you with, meaning the Lord. And so because of that, the authority of the believer has to be utilized. The Lord is emphasizing so strongly in this hour that people have to get this and utilize the authority of the believer.